Like we're living in Germany back in the day. Tom MacDonald trying to kill me with Berto on his birthday. Let's get into it.
I admit it, I'm afraid they gon' kill me for this. Probably put me in my grave for the lyrics I spit. Been exposing the truth and all the secrets they covering. If I die, it was big pharma or government. Been putting too much truth in my songs. They gon' stage a suicide and say I chose to move on. Probably cutting my brakes, so when I tour too long, I'll die in a crash, say I was driving and drunk. Look, the illuminati.
Ooh! Hold up, this is what you were just talking about.
That's what I was just talking about. What'd I say?
You said, how did Tom MacDonald get this famous? How did they not stop him yet? You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing.
Yes.
So I mean, apparently he thinks about that same thing. Like, how did I get this famous? They're probably gonna try and take me out.
Yeah. Stage
my death.
Yeah.
That's crazy. You were just talking about that.
I know he's aware of like how delicate life is. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Like in that one song he was talking about, he has to wear like a bulletproof vest and stuff. It's like
he
definitely knows that like they could take him out if they wanted to.
Right.
Especially this day and age, all technology and drones and stuff. They could just have a drone go take him out or something.
Right.
It's crazy to me.
Berto, you have anything for us?
Yeah, I feel like Big Pharma, I feel like that could be those type of things could be the death of a lot of people. Probably is, just having those, maybe just having certain habits, maybe relying on Big Pharma instead of a healthier way. But also, yeah, he did mention like cutting the brakes or something like that.
Right.
And it's interesting to know that he also, like, because we mentioned earlier how we feel sometimes expressing like a view that's not popular opinion. So I can only imagine, how he feels doing that and publishing it and competing with the industry that's complete opposite of his typical messages.
And low key, it's like in his position, literally he could go to the doctor. They could diagnose him with something he doesn't have. They could tell him you need this medication that he doesn't need. Boom, boom, boom. You know what I'm saying? And then he died of natural because you know what I mean? The freaking what is it? Autopsy person could just forge it and just, you know what I'm saying? This day and age, I just like don't trust any position of authority at all.
Tom must be protected at all costs. Must be.
So when I tour too long, I'll die in a crash, say I was driving and drunk. Look, the illuminati real. They're trying to make you dumb, trying to numb you out with pills. Trying to make you broke, trying to tell you it's a deal. Processing your food, so now none of it is real. You eating super good, but you still be getting ill. You working super hard, but you still can't pay the bills. Silencing the visionaries, revising the dictionaries. Now you just can't find the right words to say and express how you feel. Target.
Hold up. Why he laid on so thick?
It slapped so hard.
That was a lot to try and remember.
Dang.
What was he talking about?
Illuminati is real.
Boom.
But what they're doing is not what they tell you they're doing. It's like they're trying to get you in brainwashed and addicted.
Putting people on pills to numb them.
And you don't get better, but you still do all these things.
What else did he mention? He just mentioned so many things right there.
Low key, guys, we were vegans for 3 years.
A lot.
We were vegans for 3 years, and that diet, in my opinion, is very marketed well.
And we were bad at it.
We were
ate
bad
a lot of
at
French
it.
fries.
We were, but it's like I follow somebody else who's a vegan. She's pregnant and she's having a lot of problems with her pregnancy. You know what I mean? I follow somebody else who had a baby and her baby's a vegan, and I feel like that baby looks very, very old and unhealthy. I'm just saying. I'm not saying it's horrible. It's probably great for some people, but I think all those Netflix documentaries kind of got to me.
So, Bert, do you remember what he was just talking about right there?
He said a lot. He definitely.
Do you have anything you want to add?
Could we maybe rewind it or something?
Yeah, let's run it back.
He covered a lot.
He really did.
Probably cutting my brakes, so when I tour too long, I'll die in a crash, say I was driving and drunk. Look, the illuminati real. They're trying to make you dumb, trying to numb you out with pills. Trying to make you broke, trying to tell you it's a deal. Processing your food, so now none of it is real. You eating super good, but you still be getting ill. You working super hard, but you still can't pay the bills. Silencing the visionaries, revising the dictionaries. Now you just can't find the right words to say and express how you feel. Target.
Okay.
What?
You got anything, Bert? Processed food, revising the dictionary.
Silencing the visionaries.
Trying to make you broke, telling you it's a deal. So I think that's about the music industry.
Get you addicted to pills.
Boom. That revising the dictionary. That one hits for me. I can't stand when they do that. Like they're doing it so much, especially with the word racism. They're trying to revise it so black people can't be racist or people of color can't be racist. So only white people can be racist. Because like back in the day, racism used to mean just like hating someone of a different race. Like in general, it could mean you just believe a certain race has certain characteristics that are inferior, that kind of stuff. And now it means you have to have the power to oppress to be racist. But by that definition, most everyday people don't have the power to oppress, but they accuse everyday people of being racist all the time.
Right,
So
and
like,
the people rewriting the dictionary are the ones who are actually oppressing. Like
Right, so I don't really know what racism means modern day to them.
Yeah.
I think it means whoever they want to be racist is racist and we can't be racist. It really doesn't have a definition anymore.
Yeah.
And then the processed food thing.
And also on top of that dictionary thing, though, it's the method in which they're doing it. Because I feel like words get added to the dictionary, and that could be a normal process. But it's like, for example, I haven't fact checked it, but I heard years ago that the word literally changed, and it was years ago, and when people would say literally, I mean, they would mean they mean figuratively. And I'm sorry, my dog just farted. So I thought that was funny. And I'm like, if you heard it, I didn't want you to think it's me.
Well, I didn't hear the dog fart, but it's good to know you're just sitting there wafting it in.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. I'm telling you, I love being a dog dad. But it's a process in which they are like enforcing the rule. Like for example, people use the word literally as if it means figuratively, but no one's coming around forcing you to do that. And like, and you're going to suffer a punishment because you don't conform to like a new word or something someone's saying. And especially one that's not natural. Some people naturally will say literally, you can kind of feel that, or certain things. I feel like if it's more natural, it would just catch you anyway. But it's also just forcing people and like suffering consequences, maybe losing your job all because of the language choice you use.
Right.
So yeah, I feel like that's more so what it is. It's just forcing people to to use it. It's just how forcefully it's happened.
Yeah, it's crazy. I feel like the words, bigot, white supremacist, all these words have like no meaning modern day. Like zero. Because it's like, if you don't agree with me, that's what you are. So basically all these words now mean someone who disagrees with me. You know what I mean? They don't carry the weight they used to carry.
Good, but you still be getting ill. You working super hard, but you still can't pay the bills. Silencing the visionaries, revising the dictionaries. Now you just can't find the right words to say and express how you feel. Target on my back, I think they're coming for my head. I know I recognize that then. I bet they wanna see me dead. And they're gonna kill me if I leave my room. They're gonna kill me if I go too soon. You should know. Said they would kill me. I admit it, I'm afraid they gon' murder me. Wouldn't be a problem if nobody ever heard of me. But I'm famous, so they'll probably try erasing me with urgency, infect me with a sickness and deny me any surgery. Stop me from exposing all the medicine and currency and terrorism. Always been controlling us so perfectly. I'm telling you with certainty. They say it's for security. They monitor our lives like we live in Nazi Germany. They want a microchip.
Oh!
Speak on it, Tom.
Oh!
They monitor our lives like we live in... Can we say that on the stream?
Who knows these days?
He said it.
Just like they're monitoring right now, you know what I mean?
Right, like we're literally living it, like right now, real time. Don't know what we can and can't say. Like we're living in Germany back in the day. You know what I mean?
It's terrifying, actually.
It is.
Like what he's saying right here, it's like, oh, it's a song and it sounds so good and he's speaking on it. Oh, but it's like when you really sit there and like chew on it, it's like, whoa, this is actually, they might kill him. You know what I mean?
That definitely is possible. And it's crazy that we even think that it's possible. I mean, that just is a reflection of the times we live in, you know?
But it literally is.
Like, that would not surprise anyone if that happened.
No. And I mean, throughout history, you know, he's talking about they silence visionaries and stuff. Throughout history, it's like they probably have, you know, killed some artists before.
Right.
But I feel like artists speak that language that, like, is beyond language.
Right. Like, artists have a way of penetrating, you know what I mean? Like, really getting to you.
Artists are dangerous.
You got anything on this one, Berto?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Artists are dangerous. I mean, because some labels control literally everything some artists say. Some artists don't even like have the rights to even write their own music. They're just there to just perform it. So to be able to write your own message, that could be like the antithesis of what, you know, these big labels, and so it could be a completely opposite message. So I could see how it would be, you know, financially, and just I could see the yeah, I could see why someone would want to take that artist out. Not necessarily, by killing them, but maybe, just smear campaign or fake news, or maybe killing's not the most effective because maybe another artist will and another one. And maybe eventually we'll say, why are all these, artists just dropping? Or maybe they'll discover it up and you'll think it's an overdose or anything. So I guess it's always possible. But yeah,
It's like
it's
so
crazy.
easy for them to like take out an artist though. Because artists get the
Right,
rep
that's so
for
sad.
drug addictions and suicidal tendencies and fast cars and living large.
Or drive-by shooting.
Right.
But they've already smeared Tom a bunch. So I mean, that is
Oh,
like
yeah.
you were saying, they might use other methods. They definitely do stuff.
Certainty, they say it's for security. They monitor our lives like we live in Nazi Germany. They want to microchip all the people, you don't believe it. Your fingerprint unlocking your phone, oh how convenient. They trick you to believe in all the angels and demons and say you'll go to hell if you ever go disappoint Jesus. I got a backbone and a platform and a tap phone. Never asked for it to be that known. Take my passport to my dad's boat. Use the back door to escape this place. It's the Truman Show. Target on my back, I think they're coming for my head. I know I recognize that van. I bet they wanna see me dead, and they're gonna kill me if I leave my room. They're gonna kill me if I go too soon. You should know, said they would kill me. I admit it, I'm afraid I'll disappear. They won't issue me.
All right, Berto, you want first crack at this one?
That's sad. I mean, he said they're gonna kill him if he, if he leaves. I don't know. It's kind of that's sad. I feel his pain. I feel his, some of his pain. I can kind of understand at least a part of what he's feeling.
Right. What was he talking about in that last one?
He
Before
was
the
saying that he didn't ask
the
for
fingerprint part.
Yeah.
That part. I feel like it is interesting that, okay, after the whole January 6th, right? That whole event at the Capitol, like they were able to track people down with face recognition so easily. Like, where do they get the data to have a person's face to match it to? You know what I mean? I get you scan someone's face, but where is the data that you're comparing it to? How did you get that data? Maybe it's driver's license. Maybe the phone company sell the facial recognition data. I don't know how they got it. I never looked it up. Maybe it's easy to look up and find out how they got the data. But I find it interesting they were able to track those people down just from like facial recognition software.
Yeah.
It's a little odd.
And I mean, Tom is rich and he's famous and he has a platform, but it's like, you compare that to, Bill Gates' money and stuff, and you know what I mean? The influence of like, some of these politicians, it's like, he's still one guy, you know what I mean? He still has a fairly small, even though it's big to all of us, it's still fairly small when it comes to like the powers.
Right. Everyone in live chat saying Facebook. Facebook is an intel op. That would make sense. I mean, as many pictures as, upload to Facebook, they definitely would have all the angles of your face to submit it to some kind of software to scan it and analyze it.
And it's so hard to delete a Facebook.
It really is.
So hard. And even if you delete it, you can just log back in 10 years later. What? I thought I deleted this.
Right.
Too soon, you should know. Said they would kill me. I admit it, I'm afraid I'll disappear. They won't issue me a ticket for a minor misdemeanor. They gon' try to lock me up before the moment while I'm here. Just let me take a minute to make sure you see it clear. Cancer has a cure. They killed Biggie and Pop. One thing I know for sure, 9/11 was an inside job. They stamped dollar bills with "In God We Trust." Well, a $1 bill, the only thing we got. I think they probably think they got us fooled.
Wait, hold on. You look like you're just about to bubble over.
I mean, okay, Tom is getting into conspiracies here. And I like some conspiracies. And I'm not no extreme conspiracy person, you know what I'm saying? But the Mandela effect is real.
But a lot of conspiracies are not conspiracies. They're just
Right?
labeled conspiracies so people don't believe the truth.
I just look at, I look at it like this. When you look at 9/11, for example, and you just look at, all the technology at the time, it wasn't even what it is today, but you just look at like a lot of different factors, it's like it definitely had to be an inside job. Like, you know what I mean? Some things, it's like you can just put together the common sense details and it's like the US ain't that, that open to just, and you know what I mean? It could just, no. And I think the same thing about, some of the other stuff he was saying. The dollar bill and stuff that's on it.
With the 9/11, I think it was Building 7, the one that just like melts.
Yeah, just like kerplunked.
Just straight down, just like demolition style. I mean, it's odd.
Yeah,
Very
and
odd.
then it's like a lot of stories you read about like a plane crashing into a building and stuff. It's like it doesn't crash in a way that brings down like a small building, let alone a huge tower like that.
Right.
You know, so it's just certain things. I definitely think I'm not one of those conspiracy theorists that thinks, oh, such and such didn't even happen. These are actors. You know what I'm saying? I
Right.
definitely don't agree with that. But I do believe it happened and it's terribly sad. But I just think a lot of stuff is inside.
So is it tag Alex Jones?
No, I definitely think stuff happened. It's just, I think it happened very, you know, in some dirty, malicious. You know what I'm saying? Even
Right.
like that journalist or whatever in the Middle East that they have that whole documentary on Netflix about. I forget, but
I know what you're talking about.
yeah.
Khashoggi or something.
Yeah, yeah,
I don't remember the
Khashoggi.
name. So,
Yeah,
name I couldn't even pronounce, so it's hard to remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, someone in
Yeah.
the comments is saying energy weapons. Like I think
Yeah.
some of the energy weapons may be like sound waves, just like very strong, sound waves, or even like a light so bright, it could, cause blindness or just. Yeah, I'm
Yes.
not too familiar with the energy weapons either. I've only heard a little bit about some of those.
Welcome to your Orwellian nightmare. Are you prepared? Yes, exactly. But you know what I also think?
What?
I feel like this isn't exactly an organized sort of like global New World Order type of thing. I feel like it's a bunch of rich, very extremely rich, sort of like people who have like a vision, and it is sort of like a New World Order, but I don't think it's so organized. I think they all are like fighting for power. Like they're kind of fighting each other for power.
You think so?
I think
Do you
so.
think right now it's kind of like an enemy of my enemy is my friend kind of
Yes.
thing? So they might
Yes.
be working together somewhat.
Yes. Like I think the tech, social media, like new wealth people are like versus old money, and yeah, I think they're different cultures. I don't think it's just unified like stomp on the little man.
Well, on the topic of energy weapons, I do remember something from L.A. Shortly
Whoop.
before we moved from L.A., these
Yeah.
towers just appeared
They
just
did
on the sidewalk. They looked like light towers, but they weren't
Oh.
lights. They had like a mesh screen where a light would be,
Yeah.
and they had a little sign on them that said, "This is a radiation tower." And the sign was
Yeah.
kind of high, so it was hard to read, but I actually took a picture. I'll dig it up tonight and post it in Discord if someone reminds me. But yeah, I took a picture of the tower, and it has the sign, "This is a radiation tower." Like, why do we need radiation towers?
And the base of it was like round
It
and
was odd.
big.
Right.
Like it wasn't quite like a street light, but
I mean, maybe there's a reason for it. Maybe it's a signal amplifier. I don't know, but the
Yeah.
thing said it gives off radiation. It was right there on the sidewalk where everyone's walking by busy shopping centers. So I was like, this is kind of weird. Glad we're moving.
But you know, I also did notice, like, living out in LA, I think a lot of people get kind of like, and I don't know if it's the culture out there or whatever it is, the water, but like they get almost mentally ill with the level of brainwashing. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like LA spirituality is definitely a thing, and people go like extreme into that, you know? And like I even started to get like brainwashed into a lot of different stuff, you know, Hollywood out there, like
The person who said the energy weapons Wolves Den gaming, I did not mean to sidetrack you. We totally got sidetracked.
But yeah, also with the conspiracy thing, I heard that the government kind of coined that term, just so that you do kind of, just so they can just label stuff, as a conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, a lot of people, if you do mention one, to even ask how someone feels about it, just to get a second opinion, the second some people hear the words conspiracy theory, like immediately you'll lose, all their interest will be gone, and they'll just be, I don't even want to hear whatever it is.
Right.
Before you even start speaking, like there's no way it can predict what you're going to say. What if you can say something that if you didn't say the words conspiracy theory, they might actually think, wow, this is kind of interesting that, this company benefits technically from this just with the way it's set up. Or I just feel like, I feel like it's meant to be like that. That's why they label it conspiracy theory.
it's like a label, yeah. Yeah. It was like what you were saying earlier today, like where did the words black and white come from? Because like black people are really like brownish, and like white people are really like more like peach, and like in Discord what you guys were talking about. It's like sometimes I feel like they label things to like take your mind in a certain direction so that you block out everything else, like all the other information that could help you sort of round out that thought,
Right.
Right.
Like, would Black Lives Matter hate white people so much if they weren't called white, if they were called peach or tan
Right.
or anything but white?
Right. Right. It's like the words like peach and brown or peach and whatever, tan have like totally different meanings. But it's like when you think black and white, you think dark and light.
And like
you think
opposition.
Opposition.
Polar
and
opposites.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Right.
Polar
That's what you think.
opposites.
Like, I could totally see black and white going against each other, but not really like peach and brown, or chocolate and pink.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Or tan and caramel. Like you can't really pit those colors against each other so easily.
Right, and then like a lot of black people are mixed, like 25% or more white. So it's like it's so weird. It's like we're literally all human beings with different like levels and degrees of things, but it's like, what if they didn't label it like opposition?
We trust, well, $1 bill, the only thing we got. I think they probably think they got us fooled. Distort the information in curriculums at school. They ain't making you a scholar, man, they're making you a fool. They're making you a felon if you choose to break the rules. They designed a game with a million ways to lose, not a single way to win. Only option you can choose is to play it with a grin, or you play it feeling blue. Either way the wheels spin, you won't ever make a move. They gon' kill me for this. Target on
Okay, Bert, you want to sprinkle some spice on it?
Hot potato, Bert.
Definitely. He said he was talking about distorting the information in school. That's that's definitely. And then talking about how afterwards you're a fool. I just feel like it seems like the system is meant to produce, SJW, type people, just just people that it seems like that's what they're doing. The system's kind of indoctrinating people to believe, critical race theory. Even when I was in high school, I even experienced some of that critical race theory stuff. Like in a group I was in, it was led by one of the counselors. If we could find a Band-Aid, if we could go to the nearby convenience store and find a Band-Aid that matches our skin color, then we take a step, or if we can't, we take a step towards the line. And you see how different you are from everyone around you by your positioning, who's the closest and farthest. But to be honest, before that moment, I didn't even realize a Band-Aid was supposed to match your skin tone. But I do feel like in school, there is a lot of, they try to, produce leftists, really. Just with the ideologies that they push, definitely.
Yeah.
Like that's real. That's something that I do feel like happens. And there's even, whether it's, conspiracy, it's not even conspiracies. People have been caught from other countries, whether it be China or whatever, maybe bribing professors to push certain ideologies. So some people have literally already been caught for doing things similar to that. So that's just kind of interesting. It's kind of sick that people would choose.
Yeah.
Let's choose, let's go for after children,
Right.
That's what we have to do. We can't just present, we can't let the opposition speak and say what they got to say how they feel. No, we're going to silence that, and we're going to, teach these children, exactly what, all these contentious things,
It's like a psychological war. But they say the victims of a war are the children.
I saw the best analogy for critical race theory today.
What?
It was on, I think, Vernon Jones' Instagram. It was a clip of him talking. And he said critical race theory is like, okay, two people are walking into an ice cream shop. One person's black, one person's white. If they serve the black person first, they served him first because they're racist and they want him to get out quicker to get the black people out the shop. If they serve the white person first, they serve the white person first because they're racist and white people have white supremacy, so they always get served first. But like, no matter what you do, it's going to be racism no matter what. And that's like critical race theory in a nutshell.
Yeah.
And that's the importance of them trying to control that prism that you view it through. Because once you are viewing things through that lens, it's not hard to, make it seem like it's making sense through that lens.
Right.
Right.
So if you can brainwash somebody to only see racism in everything, then I feel like that's what they've done. Like you got a whole generation of like militant, like too ignorant to understand the truth people.
All right, you guys ready to get back into it?
Mm-hmm.
Play it feeling blue, either way the wheels spin, you won't ever make a move, they gon' kill me for this. Target on my back, I think they're coming for my head. I know I recognize that van, I bet they wanna see me dead. And they're gonna kill me if I leave my room. They're gonna kill me if I go too soon. You should know, said they would kill me.
I just walked in the house. Did you leave the door open by chance? I don't know, the door was
Oh,
open.
no.
Nah, I just walked up and the door was like...
Oh, my gosh.
Yo, they're in the house! Babe, they're in the house!
Target on my back, I think they're coming
man.
for my head. I know I recognize that van, I bet they wanna see me dead. And they're gonna kill me if if I leave my room. They're gonna kill me if I go too soon. You should know, said they would kill me.
Oh, I did not like that imagery at the end. I want to picture that.
Yeah, that was a nice little ninja roll at the end, though.
Yeah. It added some comedy to it.
I mean, I thought those were some really interesting topics that he talked about. Those definitely were. And it's pretty on point. It must be a current video. This video must be kind of new. Or if not, maybe this has been going on for a moment. But
It's from 2019.
October 2019.
oh, wow. Well, yeah, that's interesting. I mean, it's kind of sad, but like I see, yeah, I mean, it's kind of sad that it seems like he's afraid, that he might get murdered or whatever, because it would be more beneficial for, companies a lot bigger than him if he wasn't around anymore. So, dang, that has to be a hard feeling. It's kind of,
But he clearly
kind of
doesn't
sad
care.
because of that.
Right.
He put himself in. I'm thinking like, oh man, this is so like, I'm like emotionally invested, and then it's like he's in a body bag and he's doing ninja rolls. Like he doesn't care. But that's
Right,
good.
still fighting, man.
But it's still something that probably sits in the back of his
Yeah.
head. Like, he's not going to let it stop him, but I'm sure those are thoughts he has on his dark days. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe he doesn't care most of the time, but I mean, we all have moments and days where like
Right.
the thoughts get to racing out of control and
Right.
stuff.
So what did you guys think about the part when he was like, if you like basically if you don't make a move, then he's like you can live it like with a smile on your face, or you can live it
Oh, feeling blue.
feeling blue. But
You're
he's
saying the
like,
system designed like there's a million ways to lose.
yeah. But what do you guys think about that? Like the whole cog in a wheel analogy he used, basically.
Oh, I mean, I think that's facts. There are a million ways to lose, and I mean, not many ways to win with the way the
Right.
system's set up. If you go the route they prescribe, go to college, do this, get a career, sit at a desk for the rest of your life and hunt your back and be miserable. You know what I mean?
Right.
Never see the
Right.
light of day, just
Yeah.
sitting there under
2 weeks
fluorescent
off
lights.
a year.
Right.
2 weeks.
And so I feel like, yeah, that will lead to misery. And that's like the most common route they tell you to go. I feel like a lot of people be happier going to trade school. I would have been happier
Yeah.
going to trade school than college.
Yeah.
I did not enjoy school at all, but I like the hands-on stuff. I like woodworking class,
Yeah.
things like that. But I didn't like sitting in a desk under those fake lights 24/7. You know what I mean? I did not enjoy that.
But
I
I
could
thought
not
they did
stand
a
it.
smear on trade schools.
Right?
Like, it seemed like they just were closing them down and like sort of, they really don't want people at trade schools.
Right.
Imagine taking out tens of thousands of dollars of, college debt, college tuition, just to come out with just a piece of paper saying that you're certified in gender studies or something. Really not even useful, but they're pushing for that. They just want you to just go to college and there's so much push for that from everybody around you.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, it's like the use. What's important is like what you're actually going to do. Is it useful for you? Is what you're doing actually useful and actually going to, be worth it? Or is it just, I don't even know. I couldn't even, but people do. They do end up in those situations where it's going to be harder to find a job if that's what is on your resume. If that's what the route you're.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe you can teach critical race theory or something, or some of those type of things. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I feel like
I'm not sure what you'd be qualified for.
I know a few people who went into college with no confidence, really. They didn't really know who they were. Their sense of, how people, like, we have to find ourselves modern day, which is so weird. Like, who told you were lost? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, you're literally a human being, and, like, human beings have survived for all these years. I think we all know who we are. You know what I mean? But I feel like they really try to mess with your, like, with your mental dialogue, to where like your sense of self and all this stuff is like super confused. So now you have to go seek it with external things, which can never help you find it because it's in you from the beginning. You know what I mean?
Or you have to use a ton of drugs, various different drugs, to numb the
Yeah,
pain you feel
sugar,
from doing what they told you
alcohol.
to do, which doesn't work to bring
Yeah.
you happiness. It's not that
Yeah.
all jobs are bad. You could be very happy going that route, but it's not that route equals happiness. Like, you got to do
Right.
it intentionally and find a career that you would really love, which is
Yeah.
kind of hard to do when you're 18.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm 18. Let me take on $60,000 in debt and pick what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. Not likely to happen.
No.
You're going to pick your career based on what people are telling you. Your parents are saying this and this and that. You're going to pick your career based
Or
on
what
that.
can help you graduate fastest.
Right.
How do I get out of here the fastest?
And so it's really a recipe for disaster.
Yep. But then when people graduate, they graduated something they didn't even go in for. Like, most people change their major. They don't even care about it. And they are so confident. It's like, how are you going to be so confident because you have a degree now, but you don't even care about the degree?
Right.
I hate that. I don't think as a kid, like, I don't think we're born that way.
Right.
You know, like, I don't think those are the things you think about as a kid. Like, oh, let me grow up and find myself. They ask you, what are you going to be when you grow up? And it's like, when I grow up, I will know.
But if I follow your advice, when I grow up, I won't know.
Right. I still won't know. Be in my 30s and have no idea what I'm going to be. Okay, thank you guys for watching this video, this birthday stream. As always, we love you guys. Happy birthday from the Netherlands. Oh my gosh. We love you guys. We appreciate all of the suggestions and the super chats and all the shout outs and the deep conversation. It is so fun, and these artists are freaking epic, and this is what I feel like we're supposed to do with the art, you know? But anyway, like the video. Don't forget to like it. Subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed already. And until next time, that's a wrap.
I don't know. Tell me, man, what do you know? What do you know? Me and my boys on the road. We to go. She told me, boy, you to go. Like, I don't know. But I don't know.